Hello and welcome back to my channel. I am Jacqueline Joyce, and today's video is stuttering related. So if you don't watch my content for that, stick around anyway, because my channel has been on for 5 years and we're here to celebrate that by rehashing some of my old, most viewed videos. How exciting is that? I'm very excited actually to look through these because I don't watch any of my stuff ever. Like I'm like, all right, there. And I actually just rewatched one video and I was like, oh my God, look at me, I look so young and look how, and so I thought that it would be fun to just kind of have that moment with you guys, especially my longtime viewers who have been there throughout the ups and the downs. So we're gonna start out the first video, my third most viewed, is called Stuttering with speech pathologist Heather Grossman, who she's like one of the top speech pathologists in the country. She's really amazing and she gives us a lot of really great tips in this video, and I worked with her for years. She's who really helped me on my journey of acceptance, which then led me on my journey to way smoother speech. And so let's watch that one real quick. Friends, I sat down with my speech pathologist to get an inside look on stuttering, secondary habits, and stuttering in children, and why voluntary stuttering has helped me become more confident in my speech. I hope you enjoy it. Look at my graphics. So talented. Guys, I'm Jacqueline, and this is my speech pathologist, Heather Grossman. Tell them a little bit about yourself, Heather.
I am the director of the American Institute for Stuttering.
Hey.
I've been a speech pathologist for about 25 years, and what's kind of interesting about what we're going to be talking about today is, as a therapist who was trained in the 80s, therapy was very, very behavioral, meaning we would sit and we would say to the person, I would like you to talk like this. We might call it stretchy speech. We would talk about things like easy onsets, and the person was always able to use these tools in the classroom or in the therapy setting. Then they would go outside and try to use it in a mall or on the phone.
And it wouldn't work.
And tell me that like that would happen, that they would start their voice in that easy way, and then all of a sudden they would get like almost like frozen in fear and no sound would be able to come out.
That's the exact experience that I had. That would be me 100%. And I'm talking about it now.
That was very typical. So I remember being a very young clinician and saying to myself, there's something wrong here. Okay,
so I'm actually going to pause it real quick. Okay, so I went to this therapy in Roanoke, Virginia. Where is Roanoke at? Yeah. And it was that same sort of like stretchy speech and easy onsets, which definitely works when you're in a controlled environment. But if you haven't attacked the psychological side of stuttering and you're only attacking the physical side, it didn't work for me, specifically because my stutter was so psychologically based. And like we had days where we were supposed to just go into a mall and like use our stretchy speech or like our easy onsets, and those were like the most terrifying, horrible days. I felt like a failure all the time because I would go up and try to talk to people and I would just like stutter and stutter horribly, and I'd be like, would I be practicing all of these techniques? I've been trying to like be perfect and have perfect speech and be fluent, and like I would end up crying leaving there all the time, just being like, I can't do this, I can't talk to anyone, I'm a failure, and like it was just the most stressful experience. And so going to AIS, they sort of helped me bridge both the speaking techniques with the psychological aspect of stuttering, and this is just why I'm all about Heather. I'm like, praise be Heather, she's great.
Well, first of all, it's important to keep in mind that when we start with like what stuttering is in the first place, it's really important to remember that for the most part, when we see a young child, stuttering usually begins in young children. And when a young child is stuttering, it's usually like this: mommy, 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 mommy. I want to go out. And so it's audible. It's forward moving like that. Then typically something will happen. Either someone will make fun of the child, or they get up and they start to read in front of the class, and they're like, whoa, the sound's not coming out. And they start to feel bad about, oh, I don't like this thing that's happening to me. And that kind of brings the tension sort of to the next level, where the child is saying, I can't let this happen. I can't let people hear me doing this, or they're going to make fun of me, or I'm going to feel uncomfortable, or I'm going to be embarrassed, or mommy's going to make that face again at me that lets me know that she's a little bugged out when I stutter. It's subconscious, obviously. And then what happens is the child starts reacting to moments of stuttering with more tension. So once that happens, we can say that the stuttering is developing because the child is trying so hard not to stutter.
The stutter then What I love about this video, which I haven't come across on any other videos online yet, is how she explains the progression of a stutter. So how most kids start out with a blah, 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 blah. And then the child then tries to stifle their stutter because they get outside cues that their speech is wrong somehow. And in order to stifle the stutter, they then develop other characteristics that then become secondary habits, which then later become their new stutter. Like, there's so many levels in the progression of it, and that's what I think people don't understand. And I think knowing like the basis of a stutter is key to dissecting it for yourself, and then hopefully figuring out the best path to move forward for yourself. You know, what I love about this episode is Heather gives very clear, concise ways to grasp what a stutter is and what ways to work through it. And episode 2 is just as wonderful as this one. If you want to watch this full episode, then I'm going to link it below in the description. So click it, watch it, and just, you know, enlighten yourself, because the more we know about us or, you know, our loved ones, I know a lot of parents watch this for their kids who stutter. The more we know about stuttering, the better we can figure out ways to help ourselves and our loved ones. So on to the next. All right, guys, the next video we're gonna watch is the first video I ever put out, which means y'all been rocking with me for a long time, because this is my second most viewed. I super appreciate it. This one is called What Does It Feel Like to Stutter? I'm gonna link it in the description box below, so let's watch it real quick. Y'all, I was editing on iMovie, so this was like my first time editing ever, but I think I did a pretty good job. I was trying to be creative, so let's see. Word is literally stuck.
Like you're constantly choking on your words.
There have been times I didn't want to talk because it made me so tired. It feels like I'm straining my neck. It feels like my mind is in first gear and my mouth. It feels like I'm an alien living on a planet. So how does it feel to stutter? To physical aspect of it. I just remembered. I went on a stuttering forum, and I was asking people, what does it feel like to stutter? And so these are some of the responses that people gave me, and I incorporated them. So if any of you guys remember this at all or heard yours, thank you. Also, my hair color was really cute. I miss my hair this color. It was cute. And then it like grew out, and then I could do like a little style with it, and it was like light brown. It was cute. All right. Stuttering. So much more. One of the reasons why when people say, why don't you just slow down? Why that really doesn't work is because when we stutter, our bodies are responding to something called fight or flight. The fight or flight response is our body's primitive, automatic, inborn response that prepares the body to fight or flee from perceived attack, harm, or threat to our survival. And as stutterers, when we speak. And I just talked about fight or flight in last week's video. See, look at this. Stars are aligning over here. Same outfits, same conversations. Look at me, guys. I'm in tune with something. Some higher level is like dropping in diamonds of ideas. Diamond ideas. Sure, we're gonna go with that. We see a stutter as that danger. What is this music? That happen with fight or flight then happens when we know a stutter is on its way, when we know we have to speak, when we know that there is a situation where there is a high likelihood of educating you people stuttering. How I feel physically. Physically, it feels as if I can't breathe. Honestly, each stutter would feel like I'm banging myself into a brick wall over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until I could get that sentence out. For my first time editing, this is pretty damn good. I want to say thank you to all my stutter buddies on Facebook who helped me with the quotes. If you want to friend request me on Facebook, the link is in the description box below. I'll see you guys at NSA. Click the subscribe button for more videos about stuttering and my approach to life. Call to actions. I was about these call to actions. And I have bloopers. Hater blockers. Hater blocker. Someone's calling me. Hey. Who am I? I am that edge. Beep. Y'all. I also just want to say that this video, this is like my first one, right? And so all I had was one of those little pocket cameras, and it had no zoom, no nothing. I would just sit it up and I would record. You should literally see like the setup I have right now. I have like someone who's graciously helping me. I have like a really nice camera, light setups. There's a blue screen in the back. Are you serious? That's crazy. Just like seeing from where it started to where it is now. It's inspiring. And I feel incredibly humbled. Thank you guys. So that was my second most viewed. My first most viewed video, which I knew this one would get a lot of views when I made it, because whenever I go to a support group for people who stutter or like anything, when I would even go to my speech therapist, we would always talk about talking on the phone, how difficult talking on the phone is, how much it super duper sucks, how everyone effing hates it. And this talking on the phone video is actually really silly because I was just in like a fun mood. And so we're gonna watch that one next. And it's gonna be our final one. Our ride down memory lane is almost over. All right, let me find it. Do this real quick. Yes! What? When? You don't have to be rude. I don't know where that shirt is. Yes. Welcome back to Stutter Girl. I wanted to do a second video on desensitization because we don't only communicate with people in person, we also communicate with people on the phone. And my grandma sits at home, hi grandma, and watches my videos, which I love you so much for doing that. But she was like, I don't know about that red lipstick, Jacqueline. I'm gonna wear pink next time, just wait. It's gonna be so much fun. Today we're talking about desensitization. I'm gonna pause this real quick. The red lipstick did look bad. On camera, it just wasn't right for the outfit I had on. So I mean, Grandma, you were right. Thank you very much. It's interesting that I referenced her after everything that's happened. It's cool to have that full circle moment. But I remember when I was like 10 or 11, I couldn't get the word hello out because there isn't any vibration of the vocal cords on the part. So it's really hard sometimes to even start the vocal cords up to speak. And I would be like, you get hung up on all the time. I still get hung up on.
I'm so
If someone
silly.
hangs up on you, it's not the end of the world. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get hung up on.
I like to practice getting hung up on because it's hard to be afraid of something that you're trying to make happen on purpose.
Good morning. What church? Is this the new lady from 106?
I can't believe that just happened.
Yes, it is.
How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you.
He's gonna call you today, okay?
All right, thank you.
So the light in my living room went out, and I've been trying to call an electrician to come and fix it, and just getting someone here has been the most difficult.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
That didn't work so well.
So I knew this was gonna happen. I remember this part. I had been practicing calling people and like trying to get hung up on and like stuttering and whatnot. And I had called that one particular lady so many times that she's like, "Are you the chick that keeps calling about the light?" And I'm like, yeah, hey. But yo, like, hey, don't be afraid of the phone. If nothing else, people will remember who you are for the simple fact that you stutter. But did you see how patient she was? I was at least holding on to that block for like 30 seconds, maybe not 30. I'm gonna time it. We'll see.
All right, so clearly I caught them yesterday and they remembered that I stuttered because I advertised to them. So advertise.
By the way, advertising is telling someone that you stutter.
Education.
Hello?
Bingo. And getting hung up on isn't the end of the world. Sometimes it happens. Usually it's not because they're trying to be rude. Usually it's because they really don't know if someone's on the other line. And so now I'm gonna call someone while advertising and tell them that I stutter and that maybe they need to be a little patient with me while I talk. And I would really appreciate that. Thank you. Okay.
I'm so snarky. I love it. That's so cute.
Cafeteria. What time's cafeteria open?
One cafeteria. This is Skylar. How can I help you?
Hi. I stutter, and so sometimes
I'm sorry, what?
I stutter, and so it takes time for me to talk. Sometimes, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. I was trying to figure out what time do you guys stop serving breakfast?
At 5 p.m.
Okay. Well, that's all. So that thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Bye bye.
Hello? Have a good one. Take care.
Hey, thank you.
Right?
So that's the desensitization on the phone. My mom would make my phone calls, like appointments, doctor's appointments, things like that, up until my early 20s, because I was just so afraid to do it. And I really think that was a disservice, but she was just trying to protect me and not have me experience pain, which I understand completely. But I had to learn to be sufficient on my own as an adult in this world. And even though I don't agree with the portrayal of stuttering in the media, or the misconceptions or generalizations or lack of knowledge about stuttering, I still have to live in this world and try to change it at the same time and try to bring education and awareness to people. So that talking on the phone was something that I really had to figure out. And so desensitized, because fear of the phone it's not a necessity. We don't need that fear. Y'all, that brought so much joy to my heart. That really did bring a lot of joy to my heart. And I talked about my mom and how protective she is as a mommy. This was really cool. I'm really glad that I took the time to make this and do this and go back in time. And sometimes you just gotta go back in time and look at what you've done to remind yourself that where you are, there was a journey up to where you are now. Thank you for joining me on this journey back down memory lane. It was really, really lovely. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you. Stutter beautifully. Mwah. Oh, also share, subscribe, and like. Duh. All right. Bye, y'all.